Hey guys, we're out here today at a place we call the Toilet Bowl, a little secret spot that a buddy of mine found, and we cut in a pretty fun track. We're out here today on the Husqvarna FC 450 Rockstar Edition, getting our first ride on this bike, and it's got some really super cool stuff on it if you're interested in one of these. A lot of it is cosmetic. You get the Rockstar graphics that are all laid into the plastic, which is cool. It comes with black rims, a really cool spoke that almost has like a rainbow looking sheen to it. Black, but it's got a cool little look to it as well. Blue spoke nipples, blue hubs. You get a wave rotor in the front that's floating. There's some engine modifications made to this bike from the 19 standard bike to make it a little freer revving. It's got an FMF slip-on muffler. Comes with a Guts Racing gripper seat. A lot of little parts and pieces like that. ODI lock-on grips, Pro Taper bars. Just a lot of cool stuff. A lot of it's look, but there are some things that make it an improvement from the 19. There's an updated suspension setting, so it's things like that that just make it a little newer, a little fresher. I think it's an extra $1,000 or so. In my opinion, well worth it for the things that you get if you've got the money to spend. So we're gonna just put some laps in out here and have some fun, and we'll get you back some feedback here in a minute. Well, you can see we put some laps in today, having lots of fun out here, and the first little takeaways from this thing, it's really important to get that fork setting right. Sag numbers at about 103 is kind of where I liked mine, but the forks will build some air pressure, so bleed the pressure out of that, whatever the outer chamber or whatever it is, and get your air pressure setting right. The 10.9 bar or whatever the heck it is that they recommend is okay for maybe 180 to 220. You know, or 200 around-ish, let's say. But at 170, it's a little much for me. I drop that pressure down a touch, soften up the compression. Also, Husqvarna's recommendation is if you feel like it's firm and harsh, slow the rebound down a click or two. That'll help, and then obviously open up some high and low speed compression, depending on what you want. Play with the compression clicker on the front to get it comfortable, but I'm about 4 clicks softer on the front compression, dropped about a PSI or so on that fork. I don't have a gauge out here with me, so we've been kind of doing it by feel. And then 1 click slower on the rebound front and rear. And I got it working where it's fun. It's nice. We got some pretty big braking bumps and like G-out chop at the bottom of these hills. And when I started, it was just real harsh, a lot of feedback, working really good now. So a couple of the cool things too I didn't mention on this bike. These triple clamps can be spun around, so you go from a 20 to a 22 offset, which is really neat. Something that they did for a couple of reasons. Give you options if you want a tighter turning bike, a more stable bike, but also these people that go to the cone valve fork, because of the way the lugs sit on the bottom, they tend to like to go to that other setting. So now you've got either one. If you want to go to a cone valve front spring fork, you can, and you can use these same clamps. You don't have to buy clamps. So pretty smart thinking on their part. And then also the design of this is such that it won't pinch if you over tighten it, which has been a tendency of a lot of people. Personally, I don't torque wrench a lot of my stuff. I just kind of go by feel, and I'm probably over tightening a lot of times. So it won't pinch, it won't bind the fork up and cause that extra friction inside if you over tighten it, just based on the design of it. So that's really cool. Cool disc guard as well here, and a skid plate that is, it's a composite, it's not carbon fiber, but it's actually really cool. It's kind of formed around the frame. It looks a lot like their factory skid plate that Akrapovic makes. So really fun bike. A little bit different feel from the KTM factory edition, which is interesting because it's same frame, same engine, everything else, but same suspension components. But just the swing arm, subframe, the muffler gives it a little bit different sound, and it's got its own character, which is cool, and a really, really fun bike. Tons of power, lots of fun. I'm thinking you will not be disappointed if you pick one of these up. So check them out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys.